So we're here at NAB Show 2025. I mean, it's the eve of the show. It's incredibly exciting. I cannot wait to see what is going to be showcasing on the show floor and across the conference. So, of course, I have Eric Trabb, SVP of NAB Show. How's it going, Eric?
Hi, Saleha, and thanks for having us. I mean, today is the culmination of a year's worth of work, right? So as we're walking around on the show floor and things are coming, finally together and the crates are getting off of the floor, it's really satisfying, I think, for all of us to finally see, the vision that we had over a year ago and finally see this, like, all right, this is here, it's happening. There's a buzz about the show. There's a buzz about our industry and how the industry is transforming itself. And we're all really anxious to get it kicked off.
I mean, there's some serious excitement out there. It's, you feel it. People are still building up their booths. Things are still going up, still even here in our IABM lounge. But there's some serious activity that is, I think, on a level that even I've not seen for a few years. So tell me what is new for NAB Show 2025.
Yeah, we have a lot. I mean, one of the things that, as we put all of this together, we want to be sure that we're listening to the market. And so when we designed the strategy for this year, we decided to look at 5 major themes. And it's not surprising that those themes are really what is, surrounding the content marketplace today. So, in no particular order, sports, right? Sports is completely changing. And the way that people engage with sports, the fan experience, wagering, NIL, I mean, the way that companies are now monetizing that content, multiple screens. So it's completely different. It's not just around the production. There's a whole new set of tools that surround the sports activity, right? I mean, we've always talked about things like graphics and animation and trucks and cameras, and all that's great. But have you seen a stadium these days? And have you seen, the engagement numbers? What's happened is you now have this sense of what's happening around engagement, and engagement is driving dollars and monetization. And so, what we're seeing reflected now with that is different companies coming to the show floor that have these sort of solutions. And then we decided to program, very specifically around that type of content. So this year we introduced the Sports Summit, and the Sports Summit is roughly 12 sessions. It's happening both on the show floor and part of our paid conference program. And, we have former NFL players like Jason McCourty coming here talking around, his transition from being a football player to having, an NFL background and experience, and then taking that experience to, a studio and to being a broadcaster. And we've all seen how broadcasters have come from, players to broadcasters. And we've partnered with the NFL to have that conversation here. And that's just one of many sessions that we have that, talks about sports. We have an NIL session, we have a policy session, we have an AI session, we have a venue session. And again, venues are now designed completely differently because people you're thinking about how you're keeping that fan engaged inside a venue. So sports is a big thing, and I think in a few seconds walking on the show floor, every other booth is talking about sports, live sports. It's because of what we've seen happening in the production marketplace, right? Companies are realizing, hey, episodic TV and production, is facing a little headwind right now. I mean, the industry is aware of that. So the only thing that they can do is, hey, where is the opportunity? And the opportunity is in sports, and it's loud and clear. And so yeah, we dug in really deeply on sports for sure. Then, a couple of others is creator economy. Right? I mean, everybody today is a broadcaster. So we are in year 2 of the Creator Lab, and this area is meant for content creators of all types. We are kicking that off with a main stage session from Darman. So, when I first saw our content team come back to us and they said, "Oh, we have Darman," I'm like, "Who's Darman?"
Yeah.
Right? And I bet a lot of people don't know who Darman is. Well, he's got 20 million YouTube followers. Okay. So, and he just hired somebody who came from traditional media to help him scale his business. And that's what the NAB Show is all about, right? The NAB Show is about taking, people who are finding different ways to create, distribute, and monetize content on all different platforms, and then they're using, these business strategies that have come from traditional media, and then they're implementing that, and they're scaling this business really quickly. So the creator economy is big, it's growing. They need tools, they need business skills, And I think we're going to do a really great job in Creator Lab and throughout the floor in helping them, discover those tools and techniques that they need to grow and enhance their businesses.
So, I mean, it's just an incredible experience for both your exhibitors, the conference side, the thought leadership side. I mean, tell me a little bit more about how you're bringing all of that together, because it's a huge space that you're now delivering across. So, how does that immersive experience happen at NAB?
So we have 1,000 speakers. We have over 550 sessions. And so it's quite a large undertaking, but we want to be sure that we are striking the right balance in the subject matter, and you need experts in all of these verticals. So NAB Show is not just about broadcast; it's about these other vertical markets. Around only 16% of the people who attend the show are what we would call traditional radio and television broadcasters. The rest are coming from all these other enterprise marketplaces, and they're all content creators as well, right? So. We need to have subject matter experts come that are relatable to those audiences as well. So we have a lot of partners. You're one of the partners that we work very closely with to help us create, valuable, incredible content for, our attendees and our shared membership.
So the IIBM relationship with NAB goes back a long, long way. Obviously, there's been significant changes at IIBM. How important do you see the relationship between NAB Show and IIBM?
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, we share the same customers, and I think together we want to be able to help our customers understand what the value is of IIBM and what the value of the show is, right? And so your members get value by participating in the show, and they get, another, I think, an extensive set of benefits that you provide. But I'd like to think that one of the most important benefits that you provide to them is the opportunity to showcase, their products and services here, and then for you and us to support them, right? Yeah. And I think the closer that we can understand what our shared customers want, the better off I think we'll be. And I think it's important for us together to listen to them and say, hey, these are sort of the things that we need and that you and I can work on together, to be sure that either A, we're not duplicating our efforts, and B, that we're enhancing, that what we do together is enhancing it, not competing with one another.
Absolutely. And, for me, that's critical in terms of both the relationship with IBM and NAB Show, but also just that collaboration. We need to, as you say, the industry is transforming. We need to innovate. We need to look at how we're driving value for NAB Show, as well as, our members taking place here in the lounge. They can hear some of the thought leaders, experts, really critical people who have an ability to pull together the whole NAB experience, as well as, on the floor, driving deals, driving connectivity, networking, profiling, and really amplifying their brand at NAB Show. And then, of course, around that is all the support that you guys do. It's not just about what happens on the trade show floor. And I think, the immersive experience, the ability to drive digital engagement around the show. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we have a one site that, works for both the Vegas show, the New York show, and then, trends impacting the industry. And so, we call it a single site solution. And it's interesting in the event business, right? Because, people gear up for a show. And so there's this pre-show sort of discovery of, what am I going to visit? Who am I going to see? And then, these sites sort of, dip off. And then another show happens and people sort of ramp up and do all that. But, I think there's an opportunity together to create valuable content for this industry that they can discover on a single site. And so I think there's, so we just launched a single site solution so that both New York, Vegas, and Trends all can be found underneath the one URL. And so, I think together we can find ways to get that content, excuse me, and amplify it just a bit more because, you have a pretty robust library of research that I think probably, could get pushed out a bit further.
And we have a whole range of membership that are able to connect and do deals here at the show, as well as collaborate on a wider basis with the partners, the customers that you're bringing into NAB Show in that expanded marketplace. So as you say, not just a traditional broadcast industry viewpoint, but that wider parallel markets, whether it's sports, house of worship, corporate, and really driving, again, the creativity, the craft, that is the heart of NAB Show, and the technology that delivers that, whether that's hardware, software, kits, people, talent. I mean, it's all here, right?
It is indeed. And it's interesting because, you start rattling off all of those markets, and we work really hard at trying to help both the manufacturing community and the attendees find one another, right? It's like, so it has to be credible. So it has to feel like it belongs there, right? Like, this is a place that I belong. This is a place for creatives. So it's quite difficult, actually, if you think about it. We're trying to create an environment where creatives feel like they can come and learn and find and network with one another. Business professionals can do the same. So this year we partnered with Ankler, and Ankler, they reach the Hollywood business community, and so we partnered with them because they're creating content that helps us extend into that marketplace a little bit better. And so again, you have to find the right partnerships that give you an audience that maybe you don't have necessarily the best credibility to get to. Yeah. So we partnered with Ankler to help us on that business side. And then, you start to look at other areas like, camera operators and DPs. So you partner with groups like, SOC to help you bring in that community. So yeah, each of these verticals require, commitment and permission to play in that space. And so, if you travel about the hall, you'll feel that different hall vibe, right? If you're in the West Hall, it has a certain feel to it, and if you're in the Central and North, the same thing. One feels very creative, one feels more like transmission and distribution. Yeah. They all have a little bit of a different feel, and we work really hard at being able to cater to all of those markets.
So, Eric, we literally are on the eve of the show, so I'm going to thank you for the time. Thank you for coming in to the IABM Member Lounge on the new IABM Impact Stage. You've got a lot to get through tonight and just get everything ready, as do we. So I want to say thank you for the support for IABM and our members. Wishing you an amazing show. I know it's going to be fantastic. And we're looking forward to seeing all the just incredible exhibitors and conference and content that you have at the show this year. So fantastic. So
great. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support, and let's go get it.
Excellent. Yeah. Thanks, Eric.
Yeah.